Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Happy Sunday, everyone.
Happy Sunday.
So glad to be together, even though it's virtually. We'd rather be in person, but we're glad to see you online. Today is January 31st, the last day of January, and we cannot wait to celebrate Tefillah with you today. We're going to begin as we always do, as we rise together and face the Degel Yisrael for Hatikvah. Hatikvah's on page 1.
That's my favorite.
Page 1's my favorite too. Time now for the Torah of the week. And today, the last day of January, our Torah portion is called Yitro. Everyone say Yitro.
Yitro.
Now, Yitro is an interesting word. It's actually a name. It's the name of Moses' father-in-law. And, in fact, it's the name of someone who's not Jewish. Yitro was a Midianite priest. And Moses, who was kind of new to this leadership game, was a great leader already. And he was a great leader already because Moses was not afraid to ask for
help.
Help. That's exactly right. And a sign of a good leader is someone who knows when they need help. And so Moses looked for the best person that he knew who could help him, even though that person might not be someone who was in his own community or even in the community that he was leading. He turned to his father-in-law, Jethro, who was a priest of Midian, who already knew how to be the leader of a religious community. And Jethro is how you say Yitro in English. Jethro taught Moses about sharing the burden of leadership, the importance of delegation. Have you ever heard that word?
Yes.
Delegation means no one person can do everything by themselves. And so it was an important lesson for Moses to hear. And then Moses found people in the community that would be able to help him. And together, they were able to lead effectively. And so from Yitro, we remember it's never a bad thing to ask for help. And in fact, the sign of a good leader is one who asks for help when they need it.
There's one other important thing that happens in this week's Torah portion,
Of course. Cantor, go ahead.
The 10 Commandments.
We can't forget the 10 Commandments, but we're going to focus on the 10 Commandments when we get to Shavuot. But once we're ready to lead, the 10 Commandments are handed down. Cantor, can you rattle off the 10 Commandments in order?
Probably. And I can always edit it out if I get it wrong.
Right.
I am Adonai your God.
Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Right. No other gods before me, no idol worship. Don't take my name in vain. Keep the Sabbath. No, remember the Sabbath day because it's in Exodus. Honor your father and mother. Don't, let me see what the order is.
Don't kill.
Yeah. So don't kill. Don't commit adultery. Wait. Lo tinov. And then I think it's don't steal. Right?
Right. Don't kill. Don't commit adultery. Don't steal.
Lo tinov. Don't swear falsely against your neighbor, and don't envy your neighbor.
No lying and no coveting.
Coveting, yes, don't covet your neighbor's stuff. And these rules are laid down just as the first several rules of a covenant, an agreement between the people and God and between the people and each other. And we have something like that too.
We do. In fact, we as the congregation are going to make a brit, a covenant of ethical behavior for everyone, not only in religious school, but everyone at the whole congregation.
Yeah, it's really similar to the concept of a kavod code that you already know about from your religious school classrooms. You all have a copy of the kavod code in there.
And anyone who's ever gone to a camp or a youth group event, you sign the code of conduct. And so this is just like the brit. But like the 10 Commandments, and by the way, there are not only 10 commandments in Judaism, there are 613 commandments, and the 10 commandments are not the first 10, nor even the most important 10, but they are the most universal.
They're up there.
They're up there for sure. But this is creating a community requires rules and requires boundaries. And so in order to make it a safe place for everyone, we're going to do the same thing here. Fantastic. We are now going to rise again. If you're not already standing as we get ready to worship, and we're going to let God know and ourselves know that we're ready to worship with the Barchu.
Page 3.
Page 3. Excellent. And now that we're ready to pray, I ask you my customary question. How many God is there? One God, that's right. So let's say the Shema together on page 4.
Page 4, that's my favorite page.
My favorite too.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
We're now going to talk about the Midah of the week.
Please be seated.
Please be seated. And the Midah of the week is something that's actually very unique to Judaism. And it is because we are required to rebuke others appropriately. Meaning that if we see something that is wrong, we are obligated to let somebody else know that it is wrong. But there are some rules.
Yes.
There are some rules, Cantor. First of all, the first rule is you can't stop someone if it puts yourself in danger. Right? You're only required to stop bad behavior or do something if you yourself will not be put in danger. So remember that. That's the most important one. The second rule is, though, that if we're going to correct someone, we are not allowed to embarrass them. That means that when we give feedback, when we give rebuke, we're supposed to do it ideally in private, in a hushed tone, as to not embarrass them, but to help them be better people moving forward. Okay. That is a requirement of Judaism, but we also know, Cantor, do you like it when people tell you didn't do something great?
I have to admit, I do not always like that.
I don't like it either.
Yeah.
It's tough to get criticized.
It is.
But without true feedback and rebuke, we can't grow and we can't improve. So even though giving and receiving feedback, giving and receiving rebuke is not always pleasant, it is necessary to become better people.
And if we're remembering that when we try to help others, and if we try to hear that from other people when they're telling us things, it makes it more likely all around that we'll be able to stay more positive and listen to one another and not get into pointless fights with one another.
Because remember, we don't want to be in pointless fights, ever.
No.
So, you know what we shouldn't fight about ever? Hebrew, because Hebrew's amazing. So let's talk about the Hebrew word of the day, and that is ben. Cantor, what does ben mean?
Son.
And how do you say son in Hebrew?
Ben.
Now, how are we going to remember that, Cantor?
I've been fishing with my son.
Seems like you're moving down the coast, right? You're in New Jersey now. I've been fishing with my son.
Yes, last week it was bat.
Yeah, last week we were in Boston. That's correct.
So, I've been fishing with my son.
I've been fishing with my son. That's right. Now, so how do you say son in Hebrew, Cantor?
Bain.
And how do you say bain in English?
Son.
Excellent work. Excellent work, everyone. So we're going to continue now with the Via Hafta. We haven't done the Via Hafta in a long time, so I want everyone to follow along with the Cantor as she does it slowly, because I want you to say every word with her as your finger goes along in your book. And we are on page 4.
Page 4,
which
that's
is still my
favorite.
favorite.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם
Adonai Elohechem Emet. We're going to turn now and rise together for Aleinu. And we're going to practice Aleinu together, which can be found on page 9.
Page 9, that's my favorite page.
Page 9. All right, Cantor.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. Get ready. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Excellent work, everyone. Excellent work. And now is simply time for our closing song, Kol Hanishama.
Bottom of page 11.
Page 11, that's my favorite.
Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Happy Sunday, everyone. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.